7-hour drive, and 6 hour drive. And so I'll be wanting to get out early too, but I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that I can answer to the best of my ability. Thomas is our leader, so we're taking cues from him, but I'll do the best I can. Thomas, I'd like to also share, if you don't mind, some of the guidelines for not just this particular inaugural session, but hopefully, inshallah, some things to keep in mind as we proceed further down the road and as new believers join us, because we're going to need believers to join in this process. First is that we should all be making dua in the session, in your personal duas for the success of what we are about to embark on. This is not an easy task, what we're embarking on. And we're going to need all the prayers and also be praying for the safe journey of participants, persons who are traveling, that they have a safe journey here and back home. In the future, inshallah, we'll have an opportunity to give advanced information to participants. I know Thomas was mentioning that to me, that advanced information would allow us to be able to study materials prior to arriving at a session and be able and ready to be able to contribute immediately, be up to snuff, already aware of what's going to be on that particular agenda.
Let me get you the whole for just a second. Brother Bilal, you have a question or comment? Brother Bilal, you have a question or comment? Let's see. The microphone.
Yeah. And that screen keeps going.
Yeah. Brother Bilal, do you have a question or comment? I'm gonna move forward. I cannot hear you if you are speaking. Well, that's true. Are these speakers on?
I don't see light.
They look like them. They turned up on but there's no light on. Hold on. Brother Mark, can you hear me? Brother Mark. I cannot hear you, Brother Mark, if you're speaking. So please press 1 to go out and come back in, and inshallah, let's see if we can hear you. Okay.
And all of us in this inaugural session and moving forward should be prepared to engage in honest, open, and respectful communication. Be patient and allow others an opportunity to share, to speak, or present a shared or opposing point of view. And try to sit next to someone we don't know so that we can use that opportunity to add new networks. And we'll try not to editorialize. If we ask a question, try to get to it as quickly as we can, get straight to the point because of the time limits that we all have. And try to utilize the lunch and dinner periods to continue the conference's agenda, either informally or formally. Try to use the lunch and dinner period. After each conference, please do give feedback. All of us should be giving feedback that will help improve future sessions. What did you like that we should do more of? What do you think was a waste of time? What do you think could be improved upon? And do recommend any reading or other resource material, like Brother Thomas just mentioned a lecture by Imam David Muhammad. Do recommend any reading or other materials that may help fellow participants improve the knowledge, the skills, or abilities.
Such as?
Any books, articles, magazines, anything that you think you've read that will help us begin to execute the vision of what modern community life is all about. Thank you. Oh, and the last thing is the conference is intended, and this is in your package, the conference is intended to help us focus on the big picture of our community life. And on major issues, not just problems, but opportunities that present for our association here in the United States and abroad. And it is not intended to address or resolve a specific issue or controversy or disagreement that may exist in any particular masjid, institution, or school.
Yes, would you be kind enough, my brother, to go back to the point that you made in terms of how to be successful in these discussions and this dialogue, and go respectfully, whether that's agreeing with your point of view or disagree with your point of view.
Yes, well, you know, the Imam, I think his name's Imam Hamid, I think it is, did an excellent job in talking about Shuraa in the Quran. I'll put it this way, the way I understand it is you can disagree without being disagreeable. I think that's probably the simplest, quickest way to put that. You know, that you can have an opposing point of view, but we always want to have respectful communication. We always want to respect one another, whether we're male, female, young, whether we're mature, what I call mature youth. I don't know if we have any mature youth that they would consider themselves mature youth. But just respectful communication. And having opposing points of view, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that is a blessing. That's a mercy for the community. Because you don't want to have everybody seeing things from the exact same way. So it's important to have different people seeing things from a different angle, because hopefully, inshallah, when those angles converge, then we'll have the best picture that we can present for the community.
And Al-Quran says that as mutual consultation.
And Shuraa alayna.
That's the facilitator and mediator. Again, we're going to have to think about talk. And maybe some will disagree. It's healthy, but we don't want to take it overboard. Okay? At the same time, someone may get loud. They're passionate about that. So let's don't take it overboard. That's where I come in. Okay. Then I have to say, well, hold it up. We have to find another way to do that, another way to say that. And again, as I have on the radio, I truly mean it. There is no backbiting, there's no names that need to be brought up. If you want to talk about something, you talk about it and not the person. Okay? If you can't do that without it, then let it go. Bite it down. So, okay? We have to do that. We have to do that. Okay. So let me just do this here, because this will help with what tomorrow is going to be. And then what I want to do is then we can start some dialogue here and kind of get some balls rolling here. Most of you, I'd like to think, have heard this if you're listening to the radio. This is what I call I can do it. And I say I can do it strategic planning or strategic thinking. I is for investigators. Okay? Now, what I mean by that is that we're here to study, we're here to research. We're here to, maybe as Quran say, read. You know, we're going to have to come up with facts and figures about things. So we're here to investigate what it is that we want. You have here to investigate direction, information. You have to go back and reread or look at something what the Dean Muhammad said, or go back and study it in the Quran. But that's investigating. Everybody kind of understand that? Mm-hmm. Research and so forth. Then we have a current situation. I'm not the best writer. Okay? This one is, all of them are important, but we need to understand who we are and where we are as a community right now. Take a snapshot, or we say, look, from this date to that date, who are we? Where are we right now? That may take us into, as I've used the example on the radio, according to the Muslim Journal, there's only 10 full-time Claire Muhammad schools in the nation. Really? Is that satisfactory? Yeah. All right? Then, but that's a current situation. You follow what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's our current status. We may say, basically, we only have, I'm sure there's a lot more, but we can say, we have 5 Arabic teachers That happens to be our current situation. We need to understand where we are so we know somewhat, as I say, what do I want up here. The distance between these two is our work. Okay? What do we want and where are we is going to then lead to us asking the positive questions. All right? Now, again, we're not here to backbite. We're not here to be negative with people. Again, how you say things, how you say something matters. Okay? How you say things matters. But be careful. We're not here to interrupt the relationships. All right? And, enough said, right? Enough said. All right? This is Amy's. We're going to establish some goals, some objectives, some tasks. We're going to have to come up with those things. All right? This is the number of options. I use this, this is an exercise at the end of many of my programs. Number of options. I give you $1 bill and I ask for change. How many ways can you make change for $1? All right? I'll give you the answer. That's not the problem. The answer is 287 ways. Your goal is to come up with all 207 ways. Point is we have to get our minds thinking strategically. We have to become problem solvers. But we should not keep coming up with the same 5 solutions that everybody's already come up with and has not worked. That's not where we are. That's not what this is leading to. All right? So we also have to ask ourselves, how many ways can we get there? All right? Then we need to establish dates and our timeline. Okay? We need to begin to ask ourselves, how long is it going to take for us to get wherever it is that we decide we want to go? This is outcome. Okay? This is really about dreaming/vision. In other words, if I think of the guys, the boys that fell asleep in the cave in the Quran, right? I don't know how long they slept, but let's assume that they slept 25 years. They wake up. You wake up. We all sleeping in the cave, we fall asleep, we wake up 25 years from now. What is this community going to look like 25 years from now? When we walk out of the cave, what are we going to see? You follow what I'm saying? What kind of community are we going to walk into? That's outcome. All right? Then what we call interest testing. I got that right. Testing. Oops. Testing. This is the measurement of our commitment. Are we really going to do this thing? Yes. All right? There's going to be some things we come up with. We're going to say, you know what? There's not enough will in the community to make it happen. I don't care how great the idea is. There's just not enough will. So we may have to move that off the chart for a moment. All right? But we have to realize, are we committed to whatever the plan, the goal is, and then what I call take it slow. Sometimes we're going to be very excited. There's going to be people saying, let's go do this right now, we can do this, we can do this tomorrow. My thing always is take it slow. Okay? We're going to get there, but let's take it slow. Everybody got that? My point is as we're discussing things, keep these things in mind. Do we need to investigate something, or are we talking about the current situation? All right? Because if we can categorize what we're talking about, it's going to better help us understand it and define it. Okay? I'm saying these things because this is, I'm letting you inside my head, and so that you can kind of see. And this is what I say. You can discover, dream, and design your own divine destiny. All right? If I took all those other, I can do it. I and C is about discovery. Okay? But asking positive questions and aims is about dreaming, being imaginative, being innovative. You follow what I'm saying? Being forward-looking. All right? Again, what is it? What's this 25-year thing? Okay? And then design is number of options, dates, then it's, and then outcome. Outcome could actually be here, and outcome could be here. Okay? But we have to figure out what is our divine destiny.
Got that right.
So as we talk, as things come up, I want to, and you should begin to ask yourself, am I talking discovery? Am I dreaming now? Am I designing now? Or am I talking about the destiny? Again, we have to separate out our conversation. We categorize it, and that way we won't get bogged down. All right? We won't get bogged down into things. So that's mainly what we're going to really be doing tomorrow, is being in these things here and keeping the conversations flowing. All right? And we're going to do some of that this evening, obviously. I thought there might have been a lot more people from the local area who's going to hang around or something, but it's okay. We're pretty good. Everybody is okay right now?
Yes, sir. It was kind of like a last minute notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem. But everybody's okay right now? Anybody need to take a break or something?
Yes, I
Yeah.
must say that I so much will look forward to every aspect of this. However, I do must admit that I won't be able to stay here at this evening as much as I would love to. And my wife, we have some things that we already had to do.
Oh,
But that doesn't take away from the sense of heartful concern that I feel and want to be sharing with everything. And I look forward to whatever, as well as tomorrow.
okay. We have your
Time
information.
program.
We have your information,
Right.
and so we'll be communicating.
These two persons also didn't get a chance to.
Oh, that's right. I'm giving you a chance to interview. Just something very quickly.
Oh,
That you
okay.
can just introduce yourself and speak up, because the people on the
Oh, okay,
online
sure.
are listening. And
Sure.
let me see. Hold on one quick second. Let me see. Brother Mark, can you hear me?
We're gonna have to get somebody to see here.
Okay.
I can hear him, so let it go. All right, brother, just go ahead and quickly introduce yourself, and then you yourself, and then we're going to move forward.
Yes. My name is Naeem Sabir. I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
All right.
Been a businessman for 35 years, from halal meats to restaurant to clothing to now I'm a beekeeper.
Well, I heard you on the radio.
Yes, sir.
You said that beekeeper there. I said, oh, yeah. The beekeeper. That's him. That's him.
Should have some honey, bro.
Anything else you want to say?
That's it. Just glad to be here. This is my interest also. Me and my partner Omar, we probably sent you that plan that we had,
Right,
100-year plan. you know.
right.
So we're looking at the same thing, you know,
Mhm.
on where we would be
Yeah.
in the future.
That's
You know.
good.
Now, your partner's not Omar now, is he?
No, I know him, but.
Oh, you know him though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's get the other brother here.
Okay, yes, again, my name is Tariq, Tariq Ahmad, and I originally hail from Trenton, New Jersey. I now live in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Very good.
Been in, the Deen Islam has been a part of my life for better than 40 years now, and alhamdulillah for that. And I've been an entrepreneur. I have various businesses. Presently, I am, I was in, presently, since I moved here, I've been in North Carolina for a year, no better than a year now. And I'm very much appreciating and enjoying the presence and the new atmosphere, and I'm acclimating myself, and I love it. So, but I'm just open up to a lot of possibilities, and I'm exploring some new prospects in business right now. So, and my wife is here with me, and as well. And we're just looking forward to everything we can get out of this opportunity.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Did anybody need a break? You okay?
Hold on. Oh,
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Assalamu alaikum. Muhammad, New Jersey.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah, it's a wonderful time for us as a community. And I'd like to thank Brother Thomas and his wife, putting this together. And like you say, it may not be time right now, but it is time right now.
That's right.
And so I want to leave it at that. Assalamu alaikum.
Excuse me, before, I want to bring everybody up to snuff quickly, especially those who are entrepreneurs and business people. Here in North Carolina, particularly Fayetteville and Fort Bragg, one of the projects that Almighty Allah has been working on for 20 years is to develop jobs here. Make a long story short, the North Carolina Legislative Black Caucus and Raleigh State government officials, senators, etc., have helped me bring in from Georgia military bases closing down, officers, lieutenants, generals to Fort Bragg over a 10-year period. That has brought in $1 billion for the last 2 years, all kinds of contracts. So those of you in business, we definitely need Muslims in business, in science, to carpentry, etc., to go to Fort Bragg and get those contracts. And so my goal is to take half of that $1 billion, $500 billion a year, to go to African Americans and to North Carolina business people, and most especially Muslim business people. $500 billion a year for the next 8 years.
Very quickly now, right now my mind is losing out on two of these, but I kind of went over, but we want to make sure everybody has the freedom to be known in relationships, to be heard, to be supported, to choose, and right now I can't, in my mind, I can't pull out the other two. So we did go with these things on the radio, but I know everybody is not necessarily listening or don't always listen, so that's why I want to kind of recap. And, let me say this here too. We started this conversation December 26th of last year. This conversation has been going on for 9 months on the radio. Okay? I announced in December 26th that I wanted to have a national shortage. All right? And we began to talk about, I can't even keep track of all the things we talked about. We talked about leadership, we talked about mediation, we talked about a lot of different things. So if you want to go back to the archives, you can start with December 26th and work yourself forward, and you can see all of the things. Usually on a Wednesday night and Friday for the most part. Every now and then I did a Monday. But for Wednesday evening and Friday, I've been talking about this issue. Okay? Saying that we're going to do it, and here we are. Okay? Now, here's what we now need to begin to, begin to use the process, but also begin to figure out for ourselves. And we're not going to solve anything here today. But we do have some data here for you. What I would like for us to do, because most of you are probably seeing this one, we sent out a survey, and this is what we got back. Okay? You can see the charts here. How many mass years in your city? What is the best guess of the total Muslim population? The guess of African American population, Muslim population?
That's a good question.
Yeah. How many Islamic schools? Okay, this is the one that kind of surprised me. I was surprised that in all of the people answering the question, that the majority of them said they had 4 or more Islamic schools in their area. I was really surprised at that. I mean, I know they're not African American, but I was still surprised that they would say that there was 4 or more 4 times. And then you can see on the next page, we asked the question, or the school, what is it, the school, and most of them said the schools are full-time. So, there should be some place for our children to go for education. I'm not saying we shouldn't stop creating schools. That one kind of caught me off guard. I admit, I didn't think that was going to be. And then the number of youth, 26 or more. So, maybe we're doing okay. Most people are married in the Master. The Muslim Journal, 0 to 25. Most Masters are taking 0 to 25 Muslim journals. It didn't surprise me, but
0 to 25.
the Muslim Journal is not going to last long.
Not like
At
that.
that rate.
No.
And again, let me just say, we sent out about 1,100 surveys. And out of that, 192, I believe, opened the survey. Out of that, 92 responded to the survey. So nearly half of the people who opened, read, responded. Okay? But again, everybody in my list is not Muslim. So, but again, still, the majority of people didn't even open it. Okay? But out of those that opened it, 192, I believe, the count. It could have been 96. It was a little less than 200
That responded.
that opened.
That opened.
That opened. So they didn't even see what it was about. And out of those, 92 actually responded. Okay, so I'm going to let you know what information you have.
I make a comment on that. I see that as the general mentality that we all share wherever we come from. Meaning that we have a large Juma, we have a Talim, and that's it. We don't really have any people willing to work and respond, answer questions, be committed. We have a very small group. It's like right here today. The information was put out there. And I'll just say since this is my home, I did not expect to see the community come out. We had a teachers group here from North Carolina, a bunch of educators. They wanted to come and learn about Islam. How many people from the core group that basically put things on here, maybe 4 or 5, how many believers actually showed up? 3. And I found out in a lot of masjids, we attend Juma. But coming from our experience, you mentioned a book, I'm rereading maybe the 5th time, Miseducation. Because the brother was on point. Something is happening to us. I can't even explain it because I don't know a thing about slavery and even really Negro. I was a young kid when Martin Luther King was killed. I probably was in my mid-teens. And at that time, my uncle had to explain to me soul brothers. My parents didn't raise me like that. I grew up in the military. I grew up in the military family in D.C. As the story goes, the general, my father was his assistant at that time. The general wanted him in D.C. He brought our house in a white community. I didn't grow up knowing this stuff, but all my uncles were radicals. All of them radical.
Okay.
But still, even with them being radical, Panthers and things like that, they still didn't promote that hatred. And so I just don't lose all one community. What I'm trying to say is, though, I'm approaching my 60th birthday. Something inside stops us from participating. I don't know what it is. But I do know I participated. That's why I joined the service. I remember working on the fish troll back in Nation Islam. And I heard Luther Vandross talk about be all you want to be. So I looked into it. I had 3 kids. I was like, why not? Because how can you serve God and not serve country? And how can you serve God? And the way I understand what Elijah Muhammad was saying, that we are the gods. So how can we not serve each other? How can we not want to serve each other? But we will show up to eat, and we will show up for the show. But something is holding us back. And I can't say fear because we're not afraid. substance over the trash.
I got something to say.
Let's
You're
fix
just
it.
like, the scratch a match and light the fire on me. Okay, I want to say this here. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I believe in the name.
Let's do this as a question. When I'm listening to this later, I'm not gonna know who's speaking, so make sure you say the name before you speak, and then that'll help me out.
Okay, yes, my name is Naeem Hassan.